Recruiters, we've all been there. We've got a candidate that we've built a solid relationship with. We really like them. They really wanted a job, but the client decided to go with a different candidate. Hi, I'm Suki from Professional Selection. Today I want to talk about keeping a candidate engaged even if you've had to deliver them some bad news. So as recruiters, we'd love to be able to place every single great candidate we meet, as well as cover every single search that we're working on. Reality is that does not happen. Now, if you're in retained search, that's different. But in contingency, we simply might not cover every single search. So what do you do when you have been working with a great candidate and your client has decided to go with a different candidate? It's not pleasant going back telling a candidate that you like that they were unsuccessful. But before you do that, there's some steps you need to take to ensure that you're giving them the correct feedback. First one starts with yourself. It's accountability. You're accountable to yourself, your employer, your client, and your candidate. Look at your process. Did you correctly onboard the client, the role? Did you do the correct research, outreach, selection, etc.? Now, if all of that was done correctly, you've got to talk to your client. Did something change that you weren't aware of, that they didn't communicate? Or the client might not even have realized he was looking for something until he met another candidate that got him thinking. So it's many different things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it could be as simple as two great candidates, one job, they had to go with they chose to go with the other candidate. So that feedback is really easy to give back to your candidate, although it's not pleasant being unsuccessful, but you move on. But what happens when the client has given you feedback that your candidate needs to hear in order to improve and help them secure the next role? A lot of recruiters are frightened of going back to candidates and giving them non-positive or negative feedback. This is where, if you've built that relationship with your candidate, 9 times out of 10, they're going to receive it in a context that it's meant. Now, they may not like the feedback, but they're going to appreciate it and move forward and continue working with yourself. But the other side of it is you, as the recruiter, to further solidify that relationship and help that individual get the job, you can actually coach them around that. Now, for example, if it was they didn't articulate themselves properly when asked a certain question that's critical in their line of work, maybe you can use that as a coaching moment and they can role play with you until they're comfortable articulating themselves. So there's many benefits to this. But this is where ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to be straightforward, you have to be honest, no matter how hard that honesty might be for your candidate to hear. You've got to make it a goal to provide better feedback. In fact, at every stage, better feedback. And of course, learn from that process that the candidate wasn't successful in. The candidate may have decided they want to change path or slightly change course. It doesn't necessarily, just because they didn't get that particular job, doesn't mean the next client isn't going to be the right one for them neither. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it's relationships. I'm sure there's many different opinions and comments. Feel free to leave them below. Else, thank you for listening.